the weirdness. All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. Blackberry Jam Committee, August 8th at 6:01 p.m. All right, let's do roll call, starting with Janine.
Janine Zimmerman,
Dennis Sucamelli.
Rusty Ackman,
George Wild, Ed Morse,
Laura Lucky,
Tina Marisi,
Kathy Hernandez,
Tony Marisi,
Ben Andrews.
Lisa Anders.
Jeremy Cole.
who gave her the gavel? Did, no. I waited until the last meeting of the year or what?
Yes. All right. So I didn't actually bring my agenda that I wrote, so I don't know in what order we're supposed to be going. I just wrote them really quick. They were in no particular order, but
That's what down to.
oh, thank you.
Misha.
Oh.
Misha.
There. All right, notes from me. So I know a lot of us are gonna have the exact same notes. We probably all have the same opinion, so we'll just. She'll put them in our minutes and then we'll work off that after this. So maybe just keep track of how many times we say the same thing, but.
That's well pulled out.
I don't know. So I think we should all give ourselves a huge pat on the back. I think this year went so good. I'm very proud of every single person who made the event this year. It went so well. It was low stress. Everything went very smooth, even when there was problems. We worked it out very easily and without any drama. But so I think we definitely need to split the electrical boxes for the food trucks off of 2 power supplies next year.
Yes.
Having them come off the stage in 1 power supply and go out to all the boxes is just too much. And I think it's the freezers and the food trucks. Whenever they kick
Fryers.
on,
Yeah.
whenever those are kicking on, it's just flipping breakers.
And part of it is because they're GFCI. And any little surge in power will cause you to trip. Like they're saying, well, I have it plugged in at home, but you're not plugged into a GFCI.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you get constant power, it's gonna have to take a huge surge to trip the break.
And then talking to the construction company where the power boxes came from, it sounds like when they're running power tools and stuff, they only run, did they say 3 to 4 at a time? 3 tops.
Yeah.
We were probably a little heavy on,
Here's the tag.
but I was gonna say that maybe we could possibly purchase a couple for the committee or for the festival that we own, and that would make it a little less burdensome in the coming year to get them. And then maybe we'll put some letters out to some companies and see if anybody's willing to donate to us in order to buy some, or even donate boxes straight from a company that already has them. And then, yeah, if we do that just a couple a year, then within a few years, we'll have enough to run every year without having to go around asking for people to help us out.
I spoke with Scott over there in Chambers. He said they'd be willing to do it again next year.
Oh, great. That is very good to know. We need to send them a thank you card.
You know, and maybe they would be one to ask them, you know, for a high, you know, be a main sponsor or whatever, if they donate us a couple.
Yes. And then the park map, we know was a little crazy this year as far as the numbering. So what I'm going to do is I saved the one that we had. And I'm going to use because the way I created this design was I just put a piece of paper over top of an actual map of the park. And I just kept using a Sharpie over it until I had the actual design. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go along this exact same route and I'm gonna put them in actual order, like 1 through 50. And then I'm going to take this list of the numbers and craft vendors that correspond with these numbers And then put them in order with the other map, because when we go through our requests and notes from the vendors, there is a lot of them who say they would like the same spot next year.
Yeah.
But we can't do that necessarily unless we know where they are in order, so I should have that done Sunday,
Yeah, a couple.
definitely before the next event, there's that.
And then I would suggest we don't move them.
Never. So one thing that I think we all noticed, and that was commented on many times by vendors, is that we need more trash cans for next year. There just wasn't enough trash cans, I think maybe throughout the park going towards the other end.
More porta potties.
Yeah, and I have a note about the bathrooms, so I think the big strain on the porta potties was the fact that the park bathrooms were closed. And so if we have the park bathrooms operational, we should be okay to have less porta potties, but to be safe next year, I think we're all in agreement that we need more porta potties.
Yes.
And more supplies.
More supplies left by the porta potty company, because even when they came Saturday evening and we asked them to resupply everything, we were still out of toilet paper and paper towels by lunchtime the next day.
Yes.
Well, and they were almost full again, some of them, so
Yeah.
I'm like, did he really completely empty them?
Maybe he just didn't do the hand washing station.
No, I'm talking about the toilets.
Yeah.
Oh, the toilet.
They were already getting it capacity on Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure whether he just didn't empty them all the way or what the deal was, but. But I mean, there were a lot of people too, so maybe you're okay.
Did you run out of the supplies that the city provided as well?
No, we had to get those from the cupboard,
Yeah.
the closet there, because the porta potties were running out so fast.
I just got a note,
Yeah.
yes, I got a note from Tim that there was a lot of the fire crew people using the portable toilets. So that might have
Yeah.
played- factored into that.
That's a good point.
Yep, I do it.
Off hours, maybe even,
Well, they were coming over eating.
yeah, they were
A
there.
lot of them
Yeah.
were eating.
They were walking through stuff, but
That's a
four,
good point.
four definitely was not.
So at the end of the event, as most of you know, we had to call paramedics because we had a vendor who had heat stroke. And I had to call another vendor because of a problem with another vendor, blah, blah, blah. When I spoke to that vendor, she had left early Saturday and we weren't sure why, remember? We
Yeah.
weren't sure why. She also had gotten heat stroke and was very sick to the point where she couldn't even walk. She didn't say anything to us, she just packed up, had her mom come get her and she left. So next year, I think what we should do is we need to pass out flyers to all the craft vendors first thing about the signs of heat stroke. Because like the girl that we called paramedics for on Sunday afternoon, she had not eaten or drank any water at all that entire day. So we need to maybe take it on ourselves a little bit more to make sure that the craft vendors are aware of that liability that, you know, it has happened 2 years in a row. People are getting heat stroke. It wasn't nearly as hot this year and it's still happening. So we'll just pass out, maybe when we pass out their little comment cards, we'll pass out a flyer about heat stroke and we'll say, hey, if you need water, come to the info booth. We have ice cold
So I
water.
have a question, kind of a legal question, maybe that Jeremy can answer. Lots of times they say when you do stuff like that, you're opening yourself up because you're saying, okay, we're aware that this could be an issue. So
Maybe
can that come back on us?
Well, you're right.
I mean,
He's asking if the. By giving
You
them
know,
the
like
heads up
American
that they
Red
would
Cross, signs of heat exhaustion versus heat
yeah.
stroke.
I guess my thing is, I just feel like people need to take care of themselves.
agree,
And
but
they should know, I mean, it's.
like the one lady who had heats, her daughter,
Mhm.
paramedic,
Yeah.
she'd never done an event before. This was her first time.
Yeah,
So she, you know.
but I
had no
heard her
idea.
mother's also saying that she's got disabilities, she knows she
Yeah.
needs to eat, she knows. I don't know, I just worry that we're
I think so too. I
Open
agree with
ourselves
that
up
from
for something
my
by
background.
putting it out to every single person, and we're worried about you having heat stroke, come get water.
Well, we
But-
should be worried.
I think a poster around.
It's a serious issue and I believe it's reasonable to educate folks and let them know we have resources available.
Well, it's very often the way you explain it could make a difference of how it's interpreted. You know, and I think making people aware that in this way, it's advisable to,
Yeah,
you know, be well supplied with.
exactly.
That way, it's really not coming back at us.
I don't think it would be coming back. I don't think it opens us for any liability.
It's
I think
generic,
if anything, it just shows. that we
generic
are trying to
information.
be Ahead of the, yeah, correct.
If we're gonna offer them water, then you're gonna need to probably bump up our water.
We could offer it as an education.
Because I think if you put on there, if you need to hold water, come to the information booth, you're gonna be surprised how much.
Yeah, I think
Water
that,
we're gonna
that
be
might
giving
be
out.
asking.
Yeah.
for
I mean, we were giving it out anyway if people wanted it, especially when they started tearing down, but. And that's fine if we wanna do that, but I think we just need to be prepared if you're gonna say that out there that.
Yeah.
They're gonna be coming and getting water, which may take sales away from our vendors too.
Well, you could always put at the bottom, you know, if you're experiencing these symptoms, please contact information booth right away.
Yeah.
And then when they come, we can fly them with whatever we have.
Hey,
Now, one of the things that Sheree wrote down in her notes. Maybe have high schoolers be runners for vendors and food vendors to get them water and food,
So-
because there are vendors who won't leave.
That's
for
the
food.
thing though, is we're not opening yourself up to
Not
liability.
No,
Have a high schooler handed a $20 bill from a craft vendor and told, go get me something, and then that vendor not be happy with what comes back.
Or say that.
That's
they
a
don't
liability.
change.
That's,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea. I can understand having a high schooler stand in front of somebody's booth and say, hey, they'll be back in a minute.
Yeah,
But again, it opens us up to the liability of a vendor coming back and saying, hey, this was,
My products.
my product was right here when I left, where is it now?
Yeah.
So that opens us up to a liability. So I think just an awareness of heat stroke, posters around the park, maybe on the bathroom doors,
Just
you know,
hydrate.
yeah.
And then
So,
maybe tell them that there is no drinking water in the park.
well, next year it should be fixed. Our water fountain, the parts are on. back.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's supposed to be operational, but yeah, the whole bathroom situation this year it didn't happen in time. for the festival.
if they're gonna stay in their booth the whole time and not get food, well, then they should pack lunch.
Well, you know,
Some did, I'm sure some do, because they've been around this isn't their first rodeo.
Exactly. They know what's
They
up.
know.
yeah.
They really
with
do.
their neighbors,
I think
and
we
like,
might-
yeah, I'll be right back. watch
And they do
stuff
that. Yeah.
For each other, you know.
Yep.
But
We might be really putting more into it that's really necessary. They can look after themselves, but they're making them aware of the water situation. It's one thing, but.
yeah, well, and it did come up from vendors, I think is why Sheree wrote it down. Some of the vendors were asking, hey, don't you have people to help us? And it's like, do
No.
other venues?
No, they do not.
Okay, so more bands next year. I'd like to book more bands, but that's not necessarily an improvement thing. It's just in the time that we had this year, we got the bands that we could. And the only other thing that I have written down right now is that we need to find a way to get the kids to not ride their bikes on the paths during the festival. Yeah. Maybe a cone at the end of each path that says Bikes Train Festival or something, but yeah,
I wouldn't do it for them.
there was a lot of dogs in the park this year, but none of them were a nuisance, none of them were a problem, so. There were some craft vendors that had dogs that I kept an eye on every one of them, none of them had a problem,
Yeah.
so,
And I saw people pick up after their pets.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a public park.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the comment cards? We scanned them to send out in the email, but I don't think it got attached tonight, so I'll just kind of skim through these real quick. This one is from Bags and More, and she said, suggestions with the spaces not in numeric order, it would have been nice to get a map. So that's not the first time I've heard that. And it actually kind of hit me at the info booth when somebody asked for a map of the event that where different things were happening. I honestly never occurred to me to do that throughout the entire group. So next year we'll make a map of the whole event, and maybe we'll put it in with our thingy. This one, Abshire Concessions, says upgrade the power boxes so the food vendors, so everyone is plugged in and nobody loses power. Overall, a great event and love seeing it grow. Formerly flatware, keep the bikes off the walk or ban them altogether. We would love food and drink runners for vendors, volunteers maybe, and we could tip or give donations. Some vendors only have one person and can't step away for a bathroom or water break, so maybe someone safe offers a 15-minute break. This year was great. Security is much appreciated. Staff was so friendly and helpful. Food options were good and music was enjoyable. That was my other thing that I actually didn't write down. I think we need, with our sound guy, we need to find a way for him to get the announcements, speakers further into the park, because from the stage only, nobody could hear anything past that, basically past the info booth.
I had a couple of vendors tell me that.
Yeah.
We can't hear announcements.
Suggestion, Chris's Jewelry. I like my spot. Love to have it next year. Please more garbage and water stations, water refill stations. This was another enjoyable year. I really enjoyed the Blackberry barbecue sauce from the food truck, as well as the different Blackberry dessert. I look forward to next year's festival. More water stations, more trash, more bathrooms, and end as well as middle. Oh, at the end. They want bathrooms on the end. I love my location. I like my neighbors. I would love to be next to them again. We have easier electrical access from Beth Harvey. Good turnout. Great job by the volunteers. Let's see. Billie Jean says booths closer to the food court and stage, plus more security, more bathrooms, and be more spread out.
She wants to be closer.
Come together and spread out, right?
That's very confusing. Less hours on Saturday. Be mandatory, more enforcement of rules. Less hours on Saturday, be mandatory, more enforcement of rules. Lots of people have commented that they really like the great variety of food carts. Great festival. That's Glenda Green. Let's see, better communication with the food trucks from Joy Cart. Nobody coming knew there would be so many trucks, and due to the communication errors, 4 trucks are serving barbecue. City staff did not give any prior information until 2 days before the event. Overall, it was successful and we would like to come back. No name. So her suggestion is her email address. And it says, please keep me posted on email events. The only thing I want to suggest is that I love being in the spot next to the gazebo facing the street. So next year I could be placed here again. Keep my cupcakes out of the sun. Very impressed, no complaints. As my first year, I was amazed at how everyone was so nice and helpful. Very impressed. I hope I can return next year. Thank you for the best customer service. Boss Hogs wrote nothing but their name. Dreamcatcher says, we love it. We had a blast and had so much fun. Native Footprint says, more porta-johns. Good job, guys. Thank you for your hard work. Lowell I don't know what it says. We loved our location and we would like it next year. More garbage cans spread throughout the park, water bottle refill stations, plenty of bathrooms. Thank you. Thank you for security. GMA Wow Creations, maybe not allow kids to ride bikes on the sidewalks. This is an amazing event. The staff are helpful, friendly, and full of great information. Thank you for everything. Eugene Cascade Coast, oh, this must be the travel in county. Definitely suggest that our booth be in the same location as the other booths to gain more foot traffic. Since my booth is out on its own by itself, it didn't get a lot of traffic or people. The festival is great. Love the variety of food, activities, music, and craft vendors. Jasper Mountain, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Anna's tie-dye. Better sound system for the event staff. I couldn't hear anything the staff was announcing. Fun, good time. And I think that's her signature. Love what you all are doing and seeing it get bigger. Keep up the great work. From Godfather Glass, Crystal Crafts. Don't take the jam away from this community. Love the jam every year. Immortal Bath and Body, no comments. Planktown, advertise or display the beer garden location. Several people expressed difficulty locating booths. Always a fun event. This year, our neighbor's generator was very loud and distracting. I know that's not the fest's fault, but perhaps require a noise dampening cover for the generator. It was very loud.
Very loud.
And McKinsey Crest Wines, informational signs directing traffic beyond the food trucks, and staff are very nice. So yes, I did talk to the beer and wine vendors at the end of the event. The year before, they were on the other side of the stage and they said nobody knew where we were. And this year we put them over by the tree so that everyone doing the horseshoes and cornhole would see them, and they said nobody knew where we were at. So I told them next year, we'll just put them right in the middle where the train is, so that they're in between the food trucks and the horseshoes and the concerts. They'll just be in the way of everybody walking through there. Nobody will miss the beer. So,
But if you do a map, then everybody will know what.
that's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
You know, and something on the electrical that I think we need to understand is that a lot of these food trucks are running on 30 amp service and or 50 amp service, and we're only able to provide 20 amp service. So I know, I'm
I
just
have
saying,
no idea what that means. So.
it means most of the food trucks draw more,
Yeah.
they're overdrawing power. So we may have to have them run extra extension cords.
Okay.
You know, unplug a few things and maybe run off extension cords if we're.
You know, and if we can tell them they can run their freezer off the generator, but then the truck itself could have power by, I don't know. But then we'll have a bunch of generators running and it'll be even louder. So.
I thought my circuit breakers were the amps, I could have sworn.
No, they're 20 amp.
Okay.
Do we want to limit the number of food trucks next year?
We can.
You think it was too many?
One truck got very upset with her when they showed up and saw the other food trucks. But I spoke to Sam at the city office. And these people called ahead before they even registered. The specific truck called and asked who else is going to be there. They were the last person to register. So she did read off of the list every other food truck that had been registered.
And I was very upfront about that also, and a few things that came out of this person's mouth was not true.
So they're just,
I think the variety was great, though.
I thought it was a
And-
fun amount of food.
And the other thing when you do that is people aren't waiting for hours to get food, where if you bring down to less food trucks, as many people as we had, then they're waiting forever.
We can't do any, we couldn't do any more.
More, yeah, I think what you have was plenty.
I was getting really stressed about space.
Yeah, well, do you feel like you need to have less, or was what you had?
Well,
I think part of the problem was that. Making sure that, people didn't show up when they were supposed to. And we have to bring them in a certain
Right.
order to get everybody in, because not everybody has a motorized truck itself.
Right.
They have a trailer, and that has to go in a certain order.
How many did you have total?
Well,
12?
I think 11.
11, and then if the school volleyball had shown up, we would have. So maybe if we just plan on the school volleyball and plan on the football. And then just
Well,
maybe
we're
add
gonna-
8 more trucks from there.
Yeah, and I think part of that is that we didn't start registering until April, right? We didn't even get the word out until April. But I think this time around, we know we're having a festival next year, yes? So we can start registering much earlier and have a cutoff date much earlier and get the information back out to the vendors at way more ahead of the event than we have the last 2 years. I think we did better this year, but I think we still need to improve by about 6 weeks.
Yeah, because usually in the past, traditionally, by February, we've had kind of an idea of a basic plan. And then we're able to implement that
Yeah.
with the word going out. But there again,
Yeah,
we weren't
because they
quite sure
probably-
where we were going at this point.
They probably book their events out
Yes.
6 to 9 months in advance, because they probably go to the same place all the time, and they want their calendar full, so they make their business.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I would say though, you guys do it, so if you think 8 is all you wanna have in there, then I
Well,
think
8 plus the
8
two
plus
schools.
2 schools, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Because I'm sure volleyball will have.
They should have their but I mean, football was able to get certified and passed by the food board, the Lane County Food Board in less than 24
Except for
hours.
something
out
about
from
the
event,
ice cream, you couldn't have ice.
Because they didn't have a freezer.
Oh, okay, I knew you said that was
Yeah.
the one thing. I couldn't
Yeah,
get.
because they didn't have a freezer to store it in, they couldn't use coolers, so they just forewent that, but they got certification, food handlers cards, everything the health board required within 24 hours of the event. So if the volleyball team wanted to do that, they had weeks ahead to know that they knew they needed it, so it's up to them, but we're gonna
And
set
of
a
course,
deadline and we're gonna stick to it. And
Okay.
then we'll be able to have the food truck length, what side is your serving window on and on and on.
Truck or trailer. Okay,
truck, trailer, or can, or pop up.
Ken,
Because if you have 2 pop-ups, you can put them side by side, and that'd be like one truck vendor.
We just need their overall width or whatever.
hopefully we will be able to have the car show next year. Hopefully. That means that the volleyball team can use the concession stand
That's
over
true.
the field, and that will
I did
satisfy
ask,
them, and it will eliminate an issue
Yeah.
for us.
and I did ask, the lady who used to run the car show, Linda. That's wrong, Suzanne. And I said, cause she ran the concessions over there, and I said, well, when you guys ran the concessions, did you have to have, like, did the Lane County Health Board? Like, have to issue you certifications and all that, and she said, no,
No.
but that was before they remodeled everything, so she's not sure with the new kitchens.
Well, the concession thing in the corner is a little bit different, so it may kind of just
I don't know.
simmer on through,
All
But
right.
there again, that's another option, and creates a bit more space. But there again, if we're going to have a car show, we're just getting off subject here, that's something that needs to be dealt with quite early, so whoever's going to do it knows exactly what's intended, and get out to the different car shows, putting flyers out, which is what we used to do.
Yeah.
When we had it,
Agreed. Go ahead.
What's the date next year? Is it the last weekend of the year, of the month?
Yeah,
July, yeah, always that, yeah.
Okay, thank
Even if it's on the 15th, we're gonna.
Last weekend.
That'd be, oh, I think keep it with you, clock.
Yeah, right?
we're not planning next year yet, but it would be the 27th, 26th, 27th, 28th. I kind of think we need to go back to 3
We should go to 3 days, I think we've proved our worth
so do you
with
want
the
to,
1 day and the 1.5 days, 2 days, another 3
I agree.
days.
Yeah.
so would you want to do setup then on the 20? Fifth?
We would actually do it first thing Friday morning.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the festival would open late Friday
Like,
with a band.
4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Kickoff.
4 o'clock. But this is a discussion that we will have when we start planning for
Yeah.
2024. Right now, we're recapping 2023.
okay.
Okay. Scratch that.
Sorry.
So Jeremy, do you have any notes that you would like to? Do you have any notes?
Yes, Max and Sam will chat about some. I'll meet with you next months about some little things, but a few thoughts. I believe the committee should plan on, whenever you're looking at the layout of the vendors of the northeastern part of Rolling Rock Park being sold by the summer of next year. So that's gonna reduce the space, park space available for the festival. So that's something I believe you should take into account in your planning.
Like, how much of this? This part?
So where the Cannon Street extension is, where the coffee shop is, you know, it has that,
The coffee shop's like right here.
yeah, that driveway.
Where the porta potties were.
Yes, so everything from that driveway up,
That comes up, like the
That's-
entire craft vendor area.
correct.
Holy cow.
No, not the entire area, but, it's just gonna be a square that you're dealing with.
Like a rectangle. Are you talking about Cannon Street there?
Yeah.
Jeremy? How far?
So, I have, the park looks like this. Kind of looks like that, right? Coffee shop is right here. Stage is right here. There's that little road that comes up right here.
Yeah.
Well, everything right here is going to be sold.
Wow.
That's half the park.
So from the bathrooms east.
Cannon
Well,
Street,
from the
that's what
the
you're saying,
little
right?
branch.
Yeah.
What's that?
Cannon Street is gonna go all the way
Correct.
through. Boy, that's a lot of stuff that can't lose.
Everything on this side of Cannon Street.
So
Why
that's
you have
like
to
from the
sell it?
bathrooms over.
Pretty much, right.
Who's
Yeah.
why is it being sold?
Why?
Well, that's a part of the city's, both our downtown master plan and the parks master plan. These, selling and developing that property was part of the downtown master plan, and also the proceeds were factored into paying off the loan for the city hall and library construction project.
So where were the food vendors at that? Where, I mean.
No, they were down at this end.
We're down
Down here, down here. Yeah.
But that takes care of a lot of craft vendors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes out
Yeah.
the whole craft vendor.
Boy, that's really going to reduce our footprint.
Well, the only thing you could do is that middle seating area that was in front of the stage where people sat, they had an option to
Put your
eat.
vendors in there.
Put vendors there and just have the one eating area in front of the food truck.
Yeah, but people show up there and put their blankets down to listen to the music and. you know,
Is that-
It's a part of the.
I know,
amphitheater.
there's
It's
still
not
be
sold
some
already.
room and I hardly saw anybody do that.
Yeah, because it was all in the sun.
Yeah, yeah, everybody said I made a pop-up, so you could almost
Yeah.
put pop-ups farther closer to the stage, just for shade, not tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that in the evenings when the shade came in.
Yeah, then they put their chair,
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
it zoned as?
It's gonna be zoned as Flex 1. So Flex 1 means a development that has commercial on the bottom and residential uses in, you have up to 3 stories.
Oh, this is awful.
Right there.
Really screwing up the park.
So that's one thing that I believe the committee should factor into planning. The other thing is, we heard some good feedback on the fans. What I would like to do is have a concentrated cooling area and to take the heat illness issue very seriously and have goal to have nobody have any heat-related illness. So I'd like to concentrate those units and even get more units pointed somewhere where people could come and just have cool air blowing on them. So that's something I'd like to plan for. Like I said, there are a few other things that. And the last item, we're talking about possibly expanding the festival. I don't know how the financial aspect of it turned out this year. I'll know in the next few weeks. But the idea behind the festival is for it to be self-sustaining, so we'll need to look at that and make sure our sponsorships and everything are able to cover expenses.
I think that will happen next year. Now we know that we're going ahead because we got everything out by February and we followed up on everything, you know.
Yeah.
And we're able to meet one-on-one with people, which we haven't been able to do. And it's always been self-sustaining. We've always had enough money in the kitty for a bad year like we've had this time. But I don't see any problem with it being self-sustaining because of past history and how diligent we've watched the budget. And by getting out early, like we've done previously, and meeting one-on-one with these sponsors.
That sounds good. I just wanted to put that out there
Yeah.
to the committee so you can aware of it.
And, you know, maybe this year, knowing that we're gonna have a festival next year, we can have fundraisers throughout the year too, like.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I need to talk about that part of it. Yeah.
We want more visits with these.
Yeah, so on that, because I know Sam mentioned to me that they wanted to go back to a pamphlet with advertisements and all of that. I can't take that on, so for one, I can't be going out asking people soliciting for money. It's one thing for me to send out a letter.
Yeah.
So if that's the route we're going, then I need to not do that part of it, because she had mentioned to me that they wanted to get back to doing a pamphlet where people could pay for advertisement, so they were getting more money out of them to have their, you know, logos and pictures and stuff like that book you have, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like that. So I
Well,
step down from that, because I can't do that.
we can talk about that because really that was not all your responsibility in the past, you know, so.
Well, since I've been here, we haven't done it that way. All
Yeah,
we've
well,
done
we
is
have
send
the
a
option.
letter out. Right, and I'm just saying that when it comes to actually going out and soliciting for money or making phone calls soliciting for money, I can't do that in my position, so.
I didn't know we were trying to go back. to
Well,
that
that's,
either,
Sam
so-
had mentioned that to me at I think at the Blackberry Jam, that that's what they would like to see happening to bring more money in.
Is they.
Them, Jared, I guess. the city.
I'm not
Okay.
familiar with.
Or maybe it was just her saying that's what we need
Yeah,
to do to get more
and of
money.
course, this is what we need to talk about
Yeah.
when we start the planning.
Well, and
process.
you know, my idea was to get with Maureen on. When she gets the bridge printed, maybe we could. Do that, use the same kind of supplier and get.
I think she
Well,
does all that.
the thing is that
There's a
like,
printer.
Oh,
what Russ has been doing was separate from putting all this together in the past, you know, so theoretically you would send, you know, quote unquote, send your letters out.
Mhm.
And then we would follow up as to, these are the options, you've received a letter and what can we do?
yeah, I mean, I
That's-
can
that
print a
part,
letter and
yeah.
I can put it, you know, address it, put it in the mail, but I can't handle doing.
No,
all
and we
that.
had a separate person that would handle the
Yeah.
program, and put all that
Because
together.
when you start doing this,
Yeah.
you've also got to have them sending you back JPEGs and all the
Proofs and all
proofs
that.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and then you gotta take it to
Yeah.
print and.
And I
It wouldn't be
think
you.
Joyce used to
No,
do
It
that,
won't be
right?
you, Rusty.
Okay.
Rest assured, it won't be you.
Okay. I just want out there that I can't do that.
Rest assured,
I'll do something else.
that's right. You did a good job on that. But then again, we'll have time to plan it a little
Right,
bit more like we
right.
usually do in the
Yeah.
past.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
On these, I think it would be a good idea if we had them at the entrances to the park, because a lot of people didn't know, and I had some comments, because people were looking for jam, that the information booth was selling the jam. So if there was a little blip in here that says, visit our information booth, you know how we list all this stuff here for the bands?
Yeah,
List the information booth, and say,
Good
this is
idea.
what you can find, but you can find a Band-Aid there. you know, yeah, you know, and, the jam and stuff like that. And then, yeah, just talk ourselves up. And then also with the recycling bins, if we're gonna borrow them again, we can always make some self-made laminate to put on the top that says recycling only.
We need to get,
Unless you wanna buy some.
you were supposed to get the can ones that have the little hole for the can to go in, was supposed to be delivered with our dumpsters.
Yeah,
I don't know, I will personally talk to Sanitac myself next year.
Yes.
That needs to happen.
And we
I had
probably
to
need
go
more
through all those
dumpsters.
bags again, put them into other bags, and somebody might as well keep it in there. It was so disgusting.
So I just thought of something when she mentioned about the jam. I believe Sam told us there was a jam ordered and was coming in later.
Yeah, at the city hall.
If we want to do it, I can take some to the bank, we can make a little display and I can sell it there. And that's a good way for us to make some money. I mean,
Yeah,
rather
she's
than,
actually going to pick it up
hold it over
this
for you know,
Friday.
another year. But that might, and you could put it out on
Yeah,
social
they sell
media.
it all year at the city.
Oh, yeah, we sell a lot of it.
Okay,
sell it all
okay, well,
of it.
that's
I
fine,
think
yeah.
even during the year, I think we get like 2 more loads of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
We cut the order down.
Our dates on the list, everything wraps for jam and when it comes in, but I didn't know that they sold it all year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you need to put that out on social media that they can pick it up. For those of you that missed out, you can pick it up at City Hall.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good idea.
Also, Mesa, you know, if we could add one more dumpster, because for those
Yeah,
of-
those dumpsters were little.
Yeah.
Much smaller than I expected them to be. Yeah, we'll,
and I'm wondering if we can actually, lock them after hours.
yeah, they
Somebody-
filled us.
Somebody help
But-
themselves.
No, I watched a bunch of the food vendors in the morning when I was down there Sunday morning. It was the food vendors. They were emptying their trailers and stuff of all their supply packages and they were going over and just dumping it in.
Yeah,
I watched one food truck fill up most of one dumpster
okay.
and then somebody put some camping stuff in one of them.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if maybe that was the firefighters,
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
Yeah. You can't get away from that, because if they open like jugs of ketchup or whatever and it's empty, they're just gonna go there and chuck it.
well, yeah, and they should.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was just surprised, cause we did not have a cardboard bin. So they were just putting full boxes.
Without breaking it.
Oh, they didn't
without
break them
breaking it
down.
down into the dumpsters, which is part of why they were filling up so fast. So we need a cardboard bin, a dumpster, and can recycling stations. Oh.
We need a cardboard policeman.
Yeah, because people don't break it down like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And they take a lot of volume of those cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And just put them in a dumpster.
Anybody else comments?
I have a few.
Go ahead.
I know a lot of the vendors were very happy with where I placed them.
Yes, they were.
And I agree with you, we definitely need to do it in numerical order next year because it makes it so much easier for me.
If we're gonna have a park next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to, that's gonna make a whole new map.
It's all gonna be horseshoes and cornhole, but.
But there are ways that we can get more vendors, but I would,
We can't if we don't
No,
have that.
you know, if, what I was
We're gonna have to
saying
cut our
earlier
Mhm.
was during the Blackberry Jam, because we had what, 52 vendors?
Mhm.
I am thinking next year, since we may be losing part of the park, I would say let's cap it at 40 for craft vendors.
You might not be able to
I
get
don't
that
think
many
you're
till
gonna
you
get
map
40
it
in
out.
there.
I could,
I think you're gonna get
I
25.
don't think so.
I could,
There's too many divots. And.
We don't have to
and-
worry about that,
Yeah.
right?
no, we don't.
There's just no way to get even 40 in if we lose that half of the park.
Cause once you lose those sidewalks.
Yeah.
You have trip hazards when
Yeah.
you're, move people off of that sidewalk walking.
The only thing
park.
we can do is close off streets and start using the streets for vendors. Like
Which
the
you wouldn't be
Eugene
able to
celebration
do because
used
the
to.
county streets,
Put it at the school,
that's another problem now.
could use the football field.
Sure,
We'll see
spreads
what
it out,
happens.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
stretch.
think that's
That's
spread it too much.
Yeah, we're recapping, we're not talking about next year's problems.
That's for the meeting next week.
Right, right.
Talk about that next month. After we've all stewed on it for 4 weeks. Okay, Lana, did you have anything?
Were you done?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is a recap of what she already talked about the water bottle refill station.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have.
There's actually a company that rents those out to.
Yeah, but how do you get the water? Where do you get the water?
Yeah, exactly, where's the water coming from?
They do it for Relay for Life, or they used to. Yeah, they still do.
Yeah, but where do you get the water?
They come with the water in them. I don't know, just have to see.
Yeah, and in our budget. I don't
Yeah,
know,
it'd be expensive probably.
I can look into it because I know the name of the company. I'll just do some deep diving.
I don't know why we wouldn't, I mean, the food trucks are all selling water bottles.
Well, and I was thinking you can ask one of the teams just to get a wagon and go around and sell their water walking through the park.
Mhm.
They do it with the 50/50 tickets.
Yeah, so I mean, that's
I
another
mean,
fundraiser for them.
we could
That might be a
also-
fundraiser for us.
Yeah, we could also put like, 2 raffle tickets with their heating option paper and say, you're good for 2 bottles of water at the info booth.
Yeah, we could.
That limits it, you don't have a ticket, you don't get a water.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
I don't have a lot. We had 2 people that didn't show up for the parade. The tow truck and then the librarian was busy and couldn't come. But otherwise, everybody showed that said they were coming.
I think it went very well, the parade, it was very popular.
Yeah, people like to see.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to add there. Everybody showed that said they were coming. In the information booth, I think we've had some good suggestions. I don't have anything to add there. Good.
Got a few messages from Tim. Let's see. Reinforce the dog-free event message.
The what?
Dog-free event.
Yeah, we put it on everything. It's on our flyers, it's on our website, it's on our Facebook page, but at the end of the day, it's a public park.
You see, but the thing is, we did have ordinances for the park, no riding your bike in the park is part of the ordinance. And no dogs, during an event. But there again, everybody kind of shifts around this law about, well, it's an assisted dog, whatever you want to call it, service dog, which is.
But the thing is, it wasn't on when the Blackberry Jam was. I didn't see it on the Blackberry Jam website that no dogs were allowed. It says it here, it says here, but unless I missed it, I didn't see that said no
It
pets.
says somewhere on there, this is a pet and drug-free event, because they are the same thing.
That's right, that was the original.
Yeah, it's still on there.
Okay, then I missed, where was it? Cause I didn't,
I'll have to find it.
okay, I didn't see it on there. Okay,
So also, he mentioned some rules around food course and dogs. The area where the drag crawl spray,
Oh, that got canceled
So-
here.
south of the grease pole has plenty of usable space. That's it from Tim.
Yeah, we could definitely. put
It's a
that
tough
in.
on the dog bill.
But if-
Very difficult.
If Cannon is gonna go all the way through.
That's correct. You'll miss the turnout circle as well, the semicircle.
Yeah,
And
and
the
then
big
we
rock,
lose our spot.
All
for
the history
porta
that we have in
potties.
this park is gonna disappear.
Porta potties go away.
Well, the porta potties were located exactly on where Cannon Street is.
Yeah, it would be on technically what you'd call the sidewalk at Cannon Street.
Yeah.
Just on the park property.
Did anybody mention parking? It just seemed like the parking was a little bit of an issue, but there was no
I
comments.
never heard anything.
Well, I
about
just-
parking.
You know, one of the things I noticed is Saturday, we wouldn't let people park in that circle, and that was really done. Sunday, there were people parked all over that circle.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a thing said to them, so that was like, okay, we're not being very consistent there, because we were making everybody move on Saturday, but Sunday, people were parked all in there. And then I know we mentioned for people to go park over at the library, which I know one lady's comment was, I can't walk that far.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, they're always parking on the sides of the street and stuff, and I know when we left or come through or something, you couldn't get two cars on the road same time going
Yeah,
back and forth,
right.
so I don't know if we need to figure out, a better, I don't know
Yeah,
where
I
people
think-
can park, but
Put the cones up for the no parking along.
early.
Yeah, just much earlier, maybe the night before when we were there putting.
And
up
do
the
that
other
whole,
stuff.
maybe that whole side, so that at least one side is not got vehicles parked on.
Yeah, cause people going down around the corner, the,
Tim has his hand up.
yeah. Hi, Tim.
Would it be possible to convert all the parking adjacent to stomping grounds, at least until the sales are complete, to alter-abled parking, so that folks that can't walk as far have that as a designated parking place? We don't have any of that anywhere on any of our facilities other than the allocated places at the city hall and the school.
Yeah, I think we could put it on cones next year, but again, if that's an actual street next year, it won't matter.
Well, maybe we can find somewhere else that would work for alter-abled folks so that they're not having to walk as far. If we have folks that are able to walk, it's really, give me a break. The walk at the county fair from the parking lot into the county fair is further than anywhere from the city hall or the school, so anybody
Yeah.
that's able shouldn't have an issue with walking.
Right. What we were trying to use the turnout for was for people who needed it for.
Right, that was the reason for it.
But maybe we put up cones with, signs sticking out of them that next year that say handicap all the way around.
Y'all keep in mind too, that the city has a deal with the school district for us we can use their new parking lot.
But this year, construction, so. Next year,
No, the
and
new
the
park,
fire did.
the new parking lot, just off at East Main Street.
I think there were people parked there.
Those people
There was-
parked there?
That whole area was full, everything.
The regular school park can-
No, well, Lindy was packed with fire, but the high school side, our
All the
patrons
vendor people were parking on there.
parking in there.
The regular high school parking.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about the new parking lot.
I guess we're all unaware of a new parking lot. Does it not exist yet?
No, it's built.
Where?
Feel like I should know.
Where the gazebo used to be.
Yeah, but they have the school buses on there, they're vans, don't they? They park, those,
The parking lot right here at the
Oh,
corner of
it
East.
was full of fire vehicles.
where is it?
Okay.
That was full fire.
Yeah, and all the way down West Main was lined with fire vehicles.
Okay,
And Lundy itself was nothing but all the way around.
well, I'm just saying that we have an agreement with the
Oh,
school.
Yeah, right.
Well, next year,
Well,
yeah.
well, we
If
can
there's
use
no
it.
fire
Yeah.
next year, 3 years in a row now,
For that.
but
That's a good picture of that.
While you have that
that's
map up,
Google Earth.
if you're going to, go to parking on only one side of that North Shore.
North Drive.
We should be allowed to park on the side where the park is. And
No, that's
No,
for the fire department that we.
let me tell you, because it makes no sense to allow parking on the other side when you're having to carry everything across the street.
And I agree, but for the fire department, nobody can see around the corners to pull out onto North Shore if there's cars parked on the park side. So they were fine with people pulling up to unload and carry stuff, but you could not leave your car there.
I'm just saying, to all of us, it makes more sense
I agree,
to
but
allow parking close to the
I'm not
park
fire
and
chief.
not across. the street.
Well, maybe if they don't park quite to the end, that might satisfy
Yeah.
the fire department, you know,
Maybe, yeah.
put three, 4 cars in.
Yeah, put some
I
cones
don't know,
there.
I'm just saying.
I don't know, it just is
Well,
ludicrous.
it's a follow-up thing for next
well,
year.
that, and it was also that we couldn't have cars on both sides of North Shore, so
Yeah.
if we let people keep their car on the park side, we would have to prohibit parking on the other side, so, yeah, for them to unload, it's okay, but then during the event, when everyone's pulling up, parking and walking around, we just need to not have parking there, so. And next year, hopefully, no fire, no wildland firefighters. Easier parking, less park anyway, so. Anybody else?
Well, no, I'm good.
You had
Yes,
stuff, you didn't say.
That's all been covered.
Oh,
Well, thank you for everything that we said and did.
Yes,
Yeah. I know, but you guys spearheaded about everything.
just take somebody to do that.
okay, so do we meet next month? Or,
Well, usually what we've normally done next month is have a celebration pizza,
that's true.
you know, normally, and then. Well, that's October, huh?
Well,
September.
it's September.
September.
We could go to October for our potluck thing. Maybe we can use the Grange or something for a potluck, I don't know. And
Yeah.
then. November, December, we usually don't.
Yeah.
Gather.
But I think we need then to have a meeting in January
Definitely.
with some ideas ready
Yeah.
to kind of spearhead what we've been talking about.
Will we know by January?
Till October and then.
Going on with the park?
January.
So we don't get rusty.
Yes,
Rusty.
yes.
Samantha wanted me to let you know that banner's ready for the city hall.
The banner is ready for you at City Hall.
The banner that goes up by the covered bridge.
Why would you?
I don't know, Samantha wanted me to tell
No, it needs to go in the storage.
Yeah. we
Thing
can put it in
is-
that storage.
them. Okay.
That's where it needs to go.
We were
Storage.
discussing storage too, we didn't even go out there.
No, we need to organize.
We had the steps and stuff from the stage in our house too, that had to love.
Well, they could go over there
And
too,
the,
you know. There again, it needs a clean out along with the rest of the stuff in City Hall, the old City Hall, I mean.
yeah,
it's,
because there's the
quite a
town
challenge.
boards and stuff like
I've-
that in there.
Packed a lot of stuff up, but there's still some more stuff that we need to.
We should go over and get everything that pertains to us and just. have a
But there
clean-
wasn't as many banners as I thought were there, and I tried to get all the guy at Sunny Pack, and it's easy to get into the call the White House and try and go through Sunny Pack. That was wrong.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm
you're
just
right.
gonna knock on the door.
I have a phone number though.
Oh, I have
Did I-
I have the inside phone numbers that
Yeah.
won't let me get through.
Really? I have one that goes straight to a person because of,
Yeah. I've got
Hi.
that too.
yes, Janine.
Do we want to pick a date maybe and have a volunteer gathering to clean the storage unit?
It's
Yeah.
not,
No, it's
it's a very tiny
too
space.
cumbersome.
Even like 4 of us
Yeah.
there is gonna be too many, like, it's a very small space, so. We'll get in there. I have all the keys and codes and I just need the time and motivation.
Well, it's, yeah.
I do think we should set a date for whatever our next event.
Yeah, when's our next
Just as
meeting?
long as it's not 90.
let's have a potluck in October as our celebration. And
The second Tuesday is a 10th.
do we want to do it on a weeknight?
Yeah.
What day?
I'm all the way in January for them. So if we stick to our second Tuesday of the month, it would be October 10th.
Oh.
George, pay attention to class.
He's distracting me, teacher. I will not.
Yeah.
I will be gone the 2nd through the 16th of October,
Okay,
but
well,
I
why
don't
don't we try and do something Friday night? Does anybody have a problem doing it on a Friday?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he works Fridays.
But if we do it this far in advance, could you ask for one night to,
Well,
cause it's in October, so, oh wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do Grange set up the haunted house.
Yeah, we could have it in here.
Well, that's logical.
This is big enough.
can you do that?
Yeah, we just reserve the room.
I was just thinking the Grange had a kitchen, so it'd be easier. to
Yeah.
And you got the big tables and everything.
Well, yeah, if you do have the Grange, you couldn't do it the last week before, Halloween.
So that puts us the week of the 17th, 18th, so maybe the 20th, right?
Maybe, yeah, you have to get on their calendar.
October.
You need to call Maureen and find out.
Alright.
what
You'll be
she's
back.
the-
I'll be back.
She's the,
Good enough, Rusty.
Fridays are good.
That
And if I
sounds.
give you enough notice, you can take some time off for a little bit to come over.
Only a couple hours.
It's good.
Do it all.
Okay, it's here.
Then what happens, like,
Well, I don't do it.
we could just all do it at the market. We'll do it at the market. Break room at the market. No, how about, I'll send an email out, and if anybody has a scheduling conflict, let me know.
Okay.
And then, let's all stay in touch, but the first official meeting for 2024 will be in January.
Good.
That puts it at January 9th. And that will be our first official, planning meeting. But if anything pops in anybody's heads, or we wanna get a head start on anything before then, reach out to me.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You're on my calendar.
It was on mine already. I must have did it for the next.
All right.
Oh, bees.
Oh, bees, yes, bees, we need bee catchers next
Yeah.
year.
Bees
Buzzword
were
out.
out.
We need high schoolers to catch bees
Bees
next
were
year.
Yeah, we can just go to Weimar and get some of those.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that for this year and then we just didn't do it.
That's the yellow jackets, gotta do that in the spring.
Well, we're just gonna put bee traps.
There's a bunch of places to hang them from.
The train specifically.
Yeah, the train has bees.
The train's just full of
And of
bees.
course, anywhere there's food, there's.
Yes, yeah, underneath the awnings from the.
Well, you wouldn't wanna hang it, you'd wanna hang it away from it a little bit, so you're pulling them away.
What the-
Anyway. That actually is for 2024, so we're talking about it.
Well, that was a complaint.
What the hell was- Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to an end at 7:12 PM. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.